Good Thursday morning, everybody. It is May 15th, and I'm Chris Allen here with your 270 weather. Weather for the 270 area code and beyond. And well, I can just say that a lot of us, probably all of us in the 270 and other nearby area codes, is going to have to watch for what develops here in the next 24 hours, 36 hours, even. It's going to be a bumpy ride, I think, as we get especially into Friday afternoon, Friday evening, Friday night. It looks like it's going to be a bit stormy. So, we're going to talk about that. The chance for severe weather or the risk for severe weather has actually gone up another degree from what I was even telling you about last night. Yeah, I did one of these updates last night, and the one I'm about to show you here in a moment looks different than what I showed you last evening. Remember, if you watched, I said this is an evolving situation and that things could change, and they have changed, which I will show you in a moment. Well, let's check things out as we normally do with a look at the Plano cam here at 7:09 Central Time on this Thursday morning, the 15th of May. There you see the mix of clouds and morning sunshine. Not bad, not bad. It's going to be a pretty good day, although you can already sense the higher humidity levels, the mugginess that's in the air. We're inside that warm sector now that is going to help set things up for the potential for severe storms as we get into it for some places overnight tonight, and then again for tomorrow afternoon and evening and tomorrow night. So we have several waves of potentially strong to severe storms moving in. But right now, it's pretty tranquil, pretty nice, except for the mugginess in the air and the heat that is going to be with us today. Even with some cloud cover, we're going to reach the upper 80s today. And, it wouldn't surprise me if somebody hits 90. I've been saying it for over a week or more that I still think it could hit 90 today. And I still believe somebody's going to hit 90, maybe even Bowling Green. It's doable. 88, 89. Why not just say 90? Somebody's thermometer is going to hit 90, I believe, for the first time this year today. Looking at the numbers from yesterday, though, it was 81. And that 81 happened, late in the day as that warm front began to push in. It's 3 degrees warmer than the normal of 78. We had a low of 64. Actually, those are not the right numbers. It just dawned on me that this is old data. That's from the day before. Pardon me here while I pull up the correct information from yesterday. This is what happens when you miss a day and you try to catch up. So here we go. This is correct. Okay, yesterday we had a high of 83, 5 degrees warmer than normal, the normal being 78. So that's correct. And the low was 60, and we had no rainfall officially yesterday at the Bowling Green Airport. Most of the area was dry for your Wednesday, as we just didn't have a whole lot going on. There were some things around us, but not here. All right, let's get to the nitty gritty now. We see radar is pretty quiet again this morning. I don't foresee anything really popping that much today. If anything does begin to develop, it's going to be later on tonight. And I mean late tonight into the overnight hours. into early Friday morning. That's when we're expecting some things to start changing. And whatever happens overnight tonight will have an effect on what happens tomorrow, as this is, as I mentioned, an evolving situation. Here's a look at the satellite view. And can you pick out the boundary that is the aforementioned warm front? You sort of can right there. See that arc? Yeah, that's and rotating around an area of low pressure, but yeah, it's kind of in that general vicinity from Bowling Green to St. Louis and then stretching back to Topeka, Wichita, back to Oklahoma City. Look at all these, the high definition of cloud cover is just incredible on this satellite view. That's why I like using it. You can see that we've got scat with the sunshine that we're seeing this morning. And yeah, things are going to heat up today, even though there's some thicker clouds off in the distance. It is going to be a mainly sunny day, but the warm air has been pretty well established, and it's going to be for some of you, you're going to call it hot, hot and humid. Once you get 90, 91, you can use the word hot if you want to. I don't think there's any rule against it, but it's going to be like August pretty much. Here's a look at those temperatures. Now the Kentucky Mesonet network showing here at 7 almost 7:15 a.m. on this Thursday morning. We've got low to even mid 70s showing up. So let's check the dew point and see if there's as much moisture equaling the temperature. And it's close, but there's somewhat of a dew point depression. But here's the thing, once you get dew points in the 60s, especially this time of the year, that's high humidity and high thickness and stickiness in the air. And there you see the dew points in the mid 60s. We may see dew points approaching 70 tomorrow before the thunderstorms come in by afternoon. So humidity right now is running about 80 to 90% with these numbers. Rainfall past 24 hours, nothing, 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 nothing. Winds are coming straight out of the south. Sustained winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Breezy, yes, at times the breeze is coming in at 10 to 15. Don't see any 20 mile per hour gusts, but that's possible. It's possible today we could see some winds gusting to 20. But there's going to be a nice, warm, and humid breeze coming up out of the south all day today. All right, let's talk about the severe weather threat. And there is one that we need to focus on. Look at all the pretty colors. Uh-oh. On this graphic, pretty colors don't mean pretty things. I think I'll trademark that statement. On a severe weather graphics page, pretty colors do not mean pretty things. Okay, so here is the severe weather threat. This is mainly for this evening. Today, everything's going to be capped off. If you watched my update last night, I was talking about the layer of warm air that's going to be over us today and kind of capping off or laying a lid on the atmosphere so that thunderstorms can't form that well. When there's a lid on the atmosphere, a lid of warm air that keeps the air from rising into the cold air above us and forming the thunderstorms. That's what it takes. But when there's a lid of warm air, when you've got warm air at the surface and warm air above us, it just cuts off thunderstorm development. And that's what's going to happen today. But that will change as the cold front gets closer to us tonight. And that's why the Storm Prediction Center has painted us in a level 2 slight risk for some stronger storms overnight tonight. There you see it goes pretty much the western half of Kentucky, including all of the 270. Now let's break that down to individual risks and outlooks. The tornado outlook is very low. It's not zero, but it's very low, 2 to 4% over the 270. Further north you go, you've got a 5 to 9% chance of seeing a tornado, but I don't think tornadoes are going to be uh, the main threat. The main threats are going to be the potential for damaging straight line winds. And keep in mind, this is during the late night, overnight hours, and into early Friday morning. This could be an ongoing situation where, and it's conditional. The thunderstorms may not even happen. This is if the thunderstorms actually form and hold together late tonight. Then this becomes valid. That's why I call this an evolving situation. It's not in concrete that this is going to happen. We're not very confident that it's even going to take place, but it could happen. And if it does, we're in that yellow shaded probability of 15% to 29% chance of getting damaging straight line winds. But the number one threat, if thunderstorms do actually come together tonight, it's going to be hail that is going to be the number one threat. And that's because of the veering winds above us. That's because of the colder layer that will be above the warm air layer. And everything starts to come together because of the cold front will start to send in some of that colder air. And we get the potential for large hail. We're not in the hashed area. The hashed area means there's potential for hail being 2 inches in diameter or larger. That would be anywhere from ping pong ball to golf ball sized hail or larger. That potential is there, but it's a big if. If storms get going overnight tonight, it has that potential. Okay. So that's tonight, late, overnight, into early Friday morning. Now let's talk about the big kahuna, the elephant in the room, if you will, Friday's outlook. And it has, excuse me, it has bumped up. It has jumped up from even what I showed you last night. Last night, Southern Kentucky, much of the 270, even the 606 and the 859 was not under this enhanced risk level 3. But now we are. Why? Well, because some of the computer models have come in, some of the AI, the machine learning that is being used more and more with the models, which I'll have to admit, as much as I kind of am hesitant about AI and all that kind of stuff, some of that was first used in the flooding back in April, and it predicted it very accurately. So I'm not snubbing my nose at some of this new technology because it seems to be verifiable, um, as we saw. So this is saying if the atmosphere has a chance to reload, if you will, by tomorrow afternoon and evening, here's the potential. Level 3, 3 out of 5 enhanced risk for severe storms. That means now there's a greater risk for damaging wind, hail, and now tornadoes. So let's talk about the tornado threat. The tornado threat for Friday, tomorrow, evening, afternoon, evening, and Friday night has gone up from Bowling Green west. There is now a 10 to 14% chance of seeing a tornado, but here's the problem with that. Given the dynamics of this system as it comes in, the cold front, the parameters needed, the energy and ingredients needed, there's going to be enough shear, speed shear, and spin that we could see a few larger tornadoes tomorrow evening. And there you see the hatched area. That's what that means. Specifically, down here, you can see the print that says the hatched area means greater than a 10% probability of a significant tornado, which is anything EF2 or higher. So we're in it. Eastern half, not so much, but Bowling Green, let's just say I 65 west. Anywhere I 65 west has a greater potential of seeing a few strong tornadoes tomorrow evening. We are definitely in the severe wind outlook, the damaging straight line wind potential. Even if we don't get tornadoes, damaging wind is going to be a big threat. We're in that kind of pink shaded area of 30 to 44% chance of getting damaging straight line winds. But add to that the hatched area, the little black marks cover all of the 270. And that means greater than a 10% probability of significant wind gusts of around or greater than 74 miles per hour. That means we're going to get some winds potentially that could be category 1 hurricane strength, because 74 miles per hour is right there at the beginning of category 1 hurricane strength. Yeah, that's tomorrow night, tomorrow afternoon, and evening into tomorrow night. It covers, you might as well say, all of Kentucky. Now, the hail threat is there, but it's going to be mainly, again, along and west of Interstate 65. And there again, we've got a potential for significant hail greater than 2 inches in diameter, or we're talking golf ball, baseball, or bigger hail. Again, this is Friday afternoon, Friday evening into Friday night. Now, by Saturday, all of this begins to push further south as the cold front makes its way southward. So we go out of the severe weather threat pretty quickly on Saturday. Sunday, nothing. Monday, nothing. Why am I showing you the nothings Sunday and Monday? Well, because Tuesday, next week, we could be looking at another severe weather threat. This is the area already in view of potential severe weather, but it could be expanded further east Tuesday into Wednesday. After that, I don't see anything. Everything looks pretty quiet after that. So even with the severe weather threat coming in for, say, overnight tonight, maybe conditionally, but Friday pretty much for sure, we're going to be back into a severe weather threat by Tuesday. of next week. Huh. Yeah, boy, this has been an active year. It just has been an active year, and we can't shake it off. Okay, let's go day by day, and in some cases, day part by day part, how the maps are going to look. Here's our warm front. Remember, I showed it to you this morning on the satellite view as it continues to push north and east with a little quasi stationary boundary into parts of eastern Tennessee. This is the lid of warm air that's potentially going to just cut off any kind of thunderstorm development today during the day. But that's going to change potentially and conditionally tonight. That's why it's an evolving situation. Here we are, 1 o'clock this afternoon. It's just going to be warm and muggy all day today. Warm and muggy, but not stormy. Here's 7 o'clock tonight with the cold front approaching. There may be mainly isolated to widely scattered showers and thunderstorms along and west of Interstate 65, 7 o'clock this evening. As we get into the overnight hours, the Nashville Weather Service office has said, no, we've looked at everything and we don't think there will be thunderstorms. And I can understand why they're saying that. But the Louisville National Weather Service office that does our forecast for even all the way down to the Tennessee border, including Bowling Green and all the 270, they're saying, no, we think that there could be some isolated or widely scattered showers and thunderstorms, but it's conditional on whether the lid or the cap will break even late at night. This is 1 o'clock tomorrow morning. That cap could break and spark a few thunderstorms. So they're being more on the cautious side, like, yeah, it could happen. The Nashville office is saying, most likely it won't. So that's why you have a perfectly drawn line between the rain and no rain right there on the Tennessee border. It's a difference between the thinking of the Nashville office and the Louisville office. That's all that is. As you know, and I've told you hundreds of thousands of times, weather does not follow straight lines. Weather does not see state lines, county lines, river lines, or outlines. It doesn't see any of that. It doesn't pay attention to that. But when you're putting together and drawing maps, all this is an output of what the individual forecast offices are saying. So Nashville is saying glass half empty, while the Louisville office is saying glass half full. One is being an optimist, the other is being a pessimist. You get what I'm talking. You get what I'm throwing down here. You feel me? uh, which, all right, in modern day terms, looks a little sus. Looks a little sus. Yeah, suspicious. So we could or could not have thunderstorms tonight. Low, in other words, low confidence because this is an evolving situation. We may not have any thunderstorms tonight. It doesn't mean that Nashville's necessarily right or Louisville's necessarily wrong. They're both kind of going, scratching their heads and going, what do we do? It's kind of 50-50. So that's all that is. Now, as we get into Friday, let's go Friday morning at 7 a.m. Both offices, all the offices are in agreement that there's going to be thunderstorms over the area because of the frontal boundary to the north, the cold front to the west, area of low pressure. It's all being set up now for what's going to come Friday evening. Here is Friday afternoon. And with this evolving situation, all the offices, including Paducah and Memphis and Little Rock and St. Louis, all the Weather Service offices are in agreement that there is going to be, oh, I knew it was going to do that. Wait a minute, back it up. There we go. There is agreement that by 1 o'clock Friday afternoon, we will begin to see this severe situation unfold. The red zone areas, much of Arkansas, much of southern Illinois, Boot Hill, Missouri, western Kentucky. Severe weather potential. But that potential then moves eastward into 1 a.m. Saturday morning. But notice we still have the red zone west of Interstate 65, but the cold front's coming in, and this is going to change modes from being about tornadoes and damaging wind, or actually large hail, to more of a heavy rain, damaging wind threat as we get into late tomorrow night. In other words, any supercells that pop up during the afternoon and early evening Friday would then congeal into a more linear type situation, a big long line of strong thunderstorms with the potential of damaging straight line winds and maybe a little spin up at the beginning of the front of the line. That's what's potentially evolving for Friday night into early Saturday. But by Saturday afternoon, as you can see, much of the activity is now west of us. Here's Bowling Green, east. And things will start to settle down. Now, Sunday, there is a chance of some late day showers. And this is because of some leftover instability. And this now becomes sort of a different setup for the beginning of next week. Here's Monday. And then we go into Tuesday. Oh, look back here. Another severe weather possibility. Remember, I showed you quiet, no severe weather Sunday, Monday. But then Tuesday, there was that yellow shaded area on the Storm Prediction Center site. Back to the west, here it is. A red zone sets up for Tuesday afternoon and evening, but it could be expanded further east as we go into Tuesday night into Wednesday. Maybe look for additional outlooks showing us under some type of risk for Tuesday night into Wednesday next week. All right, let's go to the model viewer, the blender. Yep. Look at that 89. I just, there's my gut. My gut is never, well, I'll start saying, no, wait a minute. I can't say it's never wrong because it has been wrong many times. My gut is, listen, let me put it this way. My gut is hardly ever incorrect. There are times when it's incorrect, but it's hardly ever incorrect. Let's, I'll be honest. So my gut is telling me that if not Bowling Green, somewhere today, Hopkinsville, um, E-Town, Louisville, Nashville, somebody is going to hit 90 today for the first time this year. And it could be us. It could be Bowling Green or maybe where you live. Then we go upper 80s again tomorrow, even with the thunderstorms coming in, because much of the day, I think it's just going to be very warm and very muggy. And then with the better rain chances Friday night into early Saturday, behind the cold front, we do cool down just a little. We go low 80s for much of the weekend. Here comes that next system that's going to affect us on Tuesday and Wednesday. Now, that system, look how much we cool down. We go from mid 80s to mid 70s next week, and then even low 70s. Look at that. That'll feel nice. Thursday and Friday next week, and then next weekend, mid to upper 70s. I can take that. That's not bad at all. So, yeah, not too bad, not too shabby. So we go near 90 today. If not, it'll be 88, 89. Then no storms today, but overnight tonight, we could begin to see something develop. It may or may not happen. Remember, the thunderstorm threat for tonight may not happen at all. If it doesn't happen, we are more likely to get severe weather Friday afternoon and evening because the atmosphere will have not been worked over yet. But if we do end up with some thunderstorms overnight tonight and early Friday morning, that may cut down on the severe weather risk for Friday afternoon and evening. I'm not saying it will, but it's a possibility. We go 86 storms Friday afternoon, evening, and Friday night out of here by early Saturday morning. Then you see after that just kind of daily, mainly afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms, lower to mid 80s. Tuesday, this Tuesday, Wednesday period here could change where we bump up the chance of thunderstorms Tuesday and add in thunderstorms for Wednesday. In fact, it looks like we will. So that's something we'll continue to watch. Okay. Uh, let's see what you guys are saying this morning. Michael Moore. Okay. Please, oh please, Chris, don't start doing this report in your black on black outfit with the gold. Well, I do have black, but I don't have a gold. I don't own any chains. So that's not going to happen, bruh. Complete with the backwards ball cap. That for Friday nights and the weekend. Okay, I get what you're saying. No, that's not going to happen. Don't worry. I'm not. I'm no. Let's see. Who else? Um, Snickerdoodle. I haven't heard from you in a while, Snickerdoodle. Could there be a derecho? Some are saying it's possible if, but again, it's conditional. It's maybe it gets going, maybe it doesn't. Maybe it forms into this convective system. There are different types of convective systems. Some, the derecho is just a long duration of intense thunderstorms, heavy rains, and damaging winds that go over, over a 200, 250 mile area, or longer. That's what a derecho is. But I don't know. See, the thing is, I don't like to get caught up in those terms because then some people will go, well, they're saying it's supposed to be a derecho. Then when it doesn't happen, they're like, well, then why did I still get damaging wind? Why did I still get intense lightning? Why did we get flooding rain? I thought they said there was a derecho or there's not a derecho. See, it just kind of muddies the water. I don't like that. I'd rather just say you need to prepare for several things. The main thing that you need to prepare for is large damaging hail. Number one, number one threat. Next couple of days, damaging hail. Number two, straight line damaging wind. And those you could juxtapose those two if you wanted to interchange damaging wind, hail. Let's just say those are the top 2 threats. 3 in that order would be the tornado threat, because the tornado threat relies a lot on how this evolves depending on tonight, tomorrow morning, and how things evolve on Friday night, Friday afternoon, evening, Friday night. We may or may not have that big of a tornado threat, but if things start popping and we start to see these individual little supercells that try to get going, then there's going to be a greater tornado threat. We can't say for sure whether that's going to happen or not. And anybody that says that it is for sure going to happen, they're just they're guessing. They're guessing. And they want the clicks, the likes, the shares, and the notoriety for, look, hey, look at me. I called it. I called it. Look at me. I did it. I don't care. Be prepared for any of that to happen. Any of that to happen. That's the way you should approach this, really, anytime. That's how these things work. Um, so, with that preparation, download the News 40 weather app that you see down there in the corner. That's the QR code. You just open up your phone to your camera. Okay. Open up your camera. See, like I did. And when you point it at that QR code right there in the corner, it will see that and it will pop a little link up on your camera app. You touch it and it'll take you to where you can download the app and have it with you. And wherever you go and whatever you're doing, it will notify you that there's a warning, a watch. It will update the radar. It'll have, videos from us on there that we update a couple of times a day. And you'll have everything right there in the palm of your hand. That's my suggestion, because this at first will start as a low confidence type situation, potentially evolving into something more serious as we get into Friday afternoon, Friday night, in that time period. But it'll all be out of here by Saturday morning. All right. There you go. And I'll be back on tonight, News 40, 5, 6, and 10. I will tell you that, as I've been mentioning all week, uh, this 270 weather specifically is going to change to evenings, afternoons, and evenings, starting Monday, because some other things are changing. Not just the weather, but other things, wink, wink, nod, nod, are changing, which you'll find out here in the next day or so. I can't divulge it yet, but it's changing. I love teasing you guys. I don't do it really to make you upset or irritate you, but it's just kind of fun to go, hey, there's something coming besides the weather. I got some news, which you'll find out soon enough, and it'll be fine. Okay. So you guys have a great Thursday. Thank you as always for watching 270 weather. God bless, and I'll see you later.